Hey guys, Aaron back here from Fits and Fun, and this is yet another tutorial on the T7i. What makes this one different is I'm going to have this index here. This is part one. This video got super long, got really in depth on a lot of things that I didn't touch on before, and I think this is going to be really helpful to a lot of people who are just starting or who have been shooting for a little bit. I've been learning a ton of stuff, so if you want to jump to any parts of the video, go to the corresponding spots. Again, this is part one, so half the dial is being covered here. The other half will be covered, plus a couple other things in the next video, which I hope to have out soon. I can't promise anything, how long, because this one took forever. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Let's get started. Okay, so here you go. Right out of the box, you will get the strap, the kit lens, the battery and the battery charger. Before you do anything else, put this on there and go plug this in, start charging it. Then you're going to get the camera body right here. Okay, the camera body, here's where your straps go, your knobs, your power, on for photos, movie for videos. Okay, over here is your SD card slot. I already have one in. Now for this, you want to make sure you are using a high speed, or else you cannot film in 1080p at 60 frames per second. It will only let you film 1080p at 30 frames per second. So make sure you get a high speed memory card and get a big one, because you're gonna 1080p at 60 frames per second is going to create large video files. So, and also make sure you have spares. Anyways, so there's that. And here's where your battery will go. So, let's go ahead. I've already charged it. We'll pop the battery in there. Okay, now here's where you would put it on the mount, which I will show you that later. I use that all the time. Now, here's how you install the kit lens. Okay, you take off this, and in here is your sensor. Do not get that dirty. Okay, then you're going to take this, match up this white with this white right there. Line them up. You'll feel it go in there. Hear that little click, and it's good. When you first start, you definitely want stabilization on, autofocus on. Okay, this is something you will mess with later on, possibly, but initially leave it on autofocus in there. Okay, as far as the kit lens goes, this is very self-explanatory. This is your range of millimeters. So there, it's an 18 millimeter, 24, you know, just follow this here, 24, now you're up to 35, and then here you're maxed out at 55. And as you can see, the lens extrudes, retracts and extrudes, is that the word I'd use? I don't know, whatever, extends. There you go. And then this is the fine focus. So this will zoom in, and if you had it on manual, you'd use this, but the autofocus does an excellent job doing that for you, so you don't really have to mess with that. And there you go, you are ready to start shooting. Okay, so as far as the strap goes, I don't use it. It's very uncomfortable. What I do when I'm out is just hold it. This grip is amazing. So you can just hold it like that, and it will just hang in your hand like this. And it fits perfect, almost like it was custom made just for my hand, and it does not come out. When I keep my thumb here, I can walk around all day at the zoo and it just kind of loosely hangs there. So that's what I do instead of the strap. And I can't forget, the book also comes in the box, but hopefully this video will make your use of this book minimal. Okay folks, a couple recommendations right out of the box that I would advise you do immediately. Number one, get it on. The very first thing I would recommend is to come in here, come to your settings, this little settings tab right there. Go to this folder, number 2, and come down and set your date and time. You do that, just click on it, and the rest is pretty self-explanatory. Set that up. That would be recommendation number 1. Again, that's up to you, but that's what I would do right off the bat. And while you're here, you can adjust your LCD screen. I bump it up pretty bright. Okay, after you set the time and date, I would absolutely recommend that you go into menu, and this time come up here to this camera icon, come down here to release shutter without card, and make sure that is on disable. If it is enabled, then watch. You hear that? It'll let me take the pictures, or think I'm taking pictures, but it reads no card and camera, which is fine if you have the LCD turned around. But if you don't, and you're out shooting, right, then you think you have taken pictures, and when you open this, you got nothing in there. No card and camera. So the way to prevent that is very simple. Okay, come into your menu, come down here to release shutter without card. Tap on that or hit the set and hit disable. Now when you go to take the picture, it won't do anything. You get nothing, and it just reads no card and camera. So then you put the card in the camera, and there you go. Absolutely the two things I would recommend you do right off the bat before you go any further. But again, personal preference, that's up to you. Now, shooting in auto mode. It's very simple. Here's your two auto modes here to start with. Your green here means auto mode with flash. The one below it, right there, is the one I usually use in auto. It's auto without flash. Now here's what the flash looks like. I'm going to leave my lens cap on so I can initiate the flash and push the shutter. And there's your flash. Right there. Now, since I'm outdoors, I'm going to just turn this to that right there, as you can see. And we're going to take the lens cap off, and we are ready to shoot. And before you start shooting, you want to stick your eye up to the viewfinder right here, and you want to adjust this knob right here, this little knob right here, the plus or minus, to adjust the viewfinder to your eye. So stick your eye up there and make your adjustments here to get that nice and focused. Okay, once you do that, you can flip this screen open, and you'll see this flash on self timer. This tells you your battery. This tells you if your Wi-Fi is on or off. This Q, if you touch that, it gives you the option. The only option you have basically here is to set your self timer. So we got that up. Now here's your shutter right here. Gently push the shutter and it'll focus and shoot. And there you go. It's that simple. Let's get a picture of that. See how simple it is. Boom, perfect. Almost perfect focus. It gives you your perfect exposure. Very nice auto mode. Very simple right out of the box. If you hit this info button, it gives you a level. There you go. You can hit it and go back. So there you can toggle between this level. So you'll push this button right here, activate the LCD screen, and now you can use this to pick your focal points, as you can see here, and it focuses very quickly. So you're picking these if you want to decide what you want to focus on to shoot. And then, for example, I want to get that lens cap. There you go. Very simple. Although I do recommend using the viewfinder because there's a slight delay when you use the screen for shooting. Let's go over what's on the screen here. Up here, this is just showing that there is no flash. Right below it, this is your autofocus. It's showing what autofocus you have set. This is just showing your single shot mode for your self timer. This is showing what kind of file you're shooting in. Here I'm shooting in RAW. Down here's your Wi-Fi again. Here's your flash off. This is showing your, everything's going to be auto here, your exposure, your ISO. And this Q here basically brings up your options to change the on-screen, or you can hit this Q right here, either or, to change your settings on here. So let's tap the screen. As you can see here, your drive mode is basically telling if you want to change to a timer situation, or here you can go high speed. Here, let's give you an example of high speed shooting here real quick while we're here. Okay, high speed shooting, you select that. Now listen. Hear how fast that is? Super fast. So there's high speed shooting. Now here you click that. Come over here. Low speed shooting, continuous. So as long as you're holding down the shoot button, listen. You can see it in the viewfinder there, or hear it clicking. Now that's low speed. That's the self timer with the remote. It's a 10-second with the remote. Now you don't need the remote, but I'm going to click it and show you. Okay, now here it's counting down the timer. I'm going to run out here. Okay, there you go. So that simple. Okay, so there's that option. Now let's go back. Now there is another option in here. So you want to hit this, go back into drive mode. Now that's the 2-second timer, which is exactly what it says. You click it. 1, 2, shoot. Okay, now so let's say you want to have kids in the photo or something of that nature, so you want to get everybody lined up and you're not sure if you can get everybody smiling and you want to take multiple photos. Very simple. Hit the cue, go back into the mode. Now right here, self timer continuous. Now that's set to 2. So that's the number of shots you'll take. So you want to click up. Let's go to 8 shots. Now it's a 10-second timer. It's going to take 8 shots when it gets there. So let's start it. Okay, there goes the timer. Now I will show you. Okay. Now let's take a look at these different shots. There, as you can see, oh, creepy. But as you can see, so this is a great option here if you had the kids out and you want to make sure everybody was smiling and you want to take multiple photos just in case not everybody was smiling, to give you more options. High-speed continuous timer. Here's raw. Now here you can change if you want to go all these different formats to shoot in. I'm going to stick in raw right now. Let's get out of that. And so that's it. Here's your autofocus options. Now here you can go 1 point, smooth zone autofocus, or tracking. Now you do have one more option on this, okay, as far as what you can change in auto mode. There really aren't a whole lot of options, unfortunately, but here's one that you can change. Let's put it back. Now up here you can change your autofocus to a manual focus, or manual select I should say, with this button right here. So you would push that and now you see your auto selection autofocus. Here you can manually select your autofocus point. So in other words, you can select this dot right here like that, and now you will be focusing. Your focus will be one single dot in the middle of the screen, which I will show you right here. Now you can pinpoint with that little dot. See that little dot? There's a squirrel back there. Now you can pinpoint exactly what you want and focus on it. Okay, now let's go into the menus that you can use while you are using this on auto. Right up here, your menu button and your info button. Now you want to hit your menu button. Menu, now here's your options. You got shooting in your image quality. You can do RAW, RAW plus JPEG, all the way down the list up to your largest file right here, 24 megapixel. You can do the image review. What this is basically after you take the image, it's how long the image will show on the LCD screen. Release shutter without card. We went over that, how important that is to keep that off so you know if the card's not in it. Red eye reduction, live shoot mode. Live shoot mode enabled just means you can activate this. That is your live shoot. Okay, so let's go back to the menu. And now there is one more option here. Okay, when you are in live shoot mode and you hit menu, you have slightly different options. Let me show you this here. In this, you have your autofocus. Here you have live 1 point, smooth zone. Let's go to 1 point. Now see this touch shutter? What this does is let you take a picture as you touch it on the screen. Okay, I'm going to show you that. I'm going to enable that. And then down here is your grid display. You can select, if you want a grid on the screen as you're shooting. I prefer a 3x3, so let's take a look. Okay, here's the grid, as you can see right here. Here's the focal point in the center of the screen right there. See, now this is the one touch that I just enabled. So now you can shoot pictures just by touching, like that. So, if you're looking around here. Okay, let's focus back there. Let's go here. See, it'll focus and take the picture wherever you're looking. Pretty interesting. So let's see. Let's throw this out there and try that. See, it picked it up, focused on it, and took the picture. Pretty cool. And that's basically the full range of your options while you are in auto mode. Pretty simple. I mean, it doesn't get much easier than that. Okay, so really quickly here, let's go over auto while it is in video mode. So video mode, auto without the flash. Let's go over the options here. Now, in this particular option, you cannot use the viewfinder to look at anything. You have to use the screen here. This is very similar in the fact you just hold down the shutter to start shooting, or you can push this here, the live view mode, to start shooting. Now let's look at some menu options here. Okay, here you've got 3 tabs versus the one with the photo. And here you can pick your movie record size. Digital zoom. Let's go over the digital zoom really quick. Now, to access that, we're going to come over here and we're going to come down here to digital zoom. Not available function of the associated functions. Movie size recording, movie IS. So, what you need to do, come over here and drop this down to 30 frames. And we need to turn off digital IS. Okay, so you got to have it 30 frames per second, turn off digital IS, and now we can enable digital zoom. And the way that works is kind of like on your cell phone. So as you see, there's digital zoom, and I am now zoomed in 3 times, as you can see right here. See the 3x right here? Okay, now this is how much it'll zoom in, and this is very this gets way in. So let's zoom in. Okay, now see what I did there? I pushed this up button from this screen here. To zoom in, just simply push the up and watch how far in it'll zoom. Okay, and look at that. It is way in there. I'm going to tap on this, and that's your digital zoom. Now let's pull it out. That zoomed in 10 times right there. Let's zoom in even more. Now you do lose quite a bit of image quality, but you pick up a lot of length, and you get to see things you normally wouldn't see, so it's pretty cool. Wait till you see this. This right here, this is what we're trying to look at. Can you see it? This is where I have the tripod set up with the T7i. And then here, let's get in there. There it is, that little tiny thing. Okay, to turn it back off, simply tap the Q, here or here again. Tap there, tap on the digital zoom, come down here and tap to off. So on, off, on, off. And that's it. That's digital zoom. If you need to add that little bit of extra length and you're willing to sacrifice some image quality, that's a great option. And I always bump it right back up to image stabilization in the middle here, because I don't like this long crop, and we're right back shooting the way we just were. Sound recording. So you can shoot a silent movie. Let's go to tab 2. Up here, movie servo AF. This allows using an external microphone will reduce the amount of lens drive noise recorded. Okay, I'm just going over every little thing in here. Autofocus method, live plus 1 point. Let's go here. In video mode, I like to use the tracking because people are moving and it'll lock onto someone in particular and follow them around or whatever your subject is. I still like the grid to make sure that my my lines are straight. That's what I use. And here's the other options for grids. Okay. Now this here. Okay, so now you come down here to this here, your button function. Now if you look here, half press, meter only, full press, this is referring to your shutter button. Half press is when you barely touch it and you can feel it just go down slightly, and when you do that it'll focus and give you your information on here. Full press is, now let's go over here, let's go back into the, so right here, meter only, start stop movie recording, metering plus autofocus. So let's click that in here. Let's throw that down there and let's see here. Let's start up here. Okay, now it's going to autofocus on different things because I'm half pressing the button. As you can see there, it's picking what to focus on. Let's come up to the trees here and let it adjust. There you go. Now if I push it down all the way, now you see that little red dot up there? Now it's recording. Okay, now your other options here, metering only, full press, no function. Metering plus autofocus, full press, no function. I personally like to use this one right here, metering plus autofocus, when I'm when I'm shooting in auto. I've been shooting mostly manual, but this is nice because, like I said, you get to half press it and it'll pick up what you want to focus on, so you can start focusing immediately and then start recording after you've already picked your focus. And that's it. So I'm recording right now. So I'm going to jump around here. Let's come over here to this chair. Well, you get the point. Okay, very, very important. This little box down here, see this right here, this green dot? Make sure that green dot is on. If you accidentally touch it and that green dot comes off, your focusing will turn to crap. It will be worthless. So make sure that is on. Now we can zoom in or out. Let's zoom in. And let me show you what it does without this on. Remember I said something about this? Let's turn that off and look around. Okay. See how it's kind of just frozen in place? Now let's turn that back on and watch the difference. See that? Smooth. That's what this Servo AF does. That's their amazing autofocus. Okay, so if this looks a little different, it's because I just recorded on video snapshot. I have the mic attached here and the tripod mount that I showed you earlier. Just screws in there. And what that is it records quick little 4-second, 2-second, or 8-second video clips, and then it meshes them all together into one video. So the way you do that is, when you are in video mode, right here, go into your menus. Remember, we have 3 options here. You go over here to the third tab, right there, number 3. And you go up to video snapshot and you click enable. Now here you can go to your album settings, show config, confirm message. 4-second movie, that's what I have it set to currently. Now what you can do is create a new album and you can change your movie length here to 4-second, 8-second, or 2-second like I said. So let's go to 2-second. I don't like 2-second, that's worthless. Let's go to 4-second. Okay. Video snapshot enable. Show message enable. And that's it. Now it's going to record to a new album, so I'm going to go ahead and record a quick snapshot video and show you what that does. Hey guys, this is video snapshot on the T7. It lets you record these little 4-second clips and it puts it all together for you. But unfortunately it does not work with the remote or Bluetooth remote. So I have to keep coming up and pushing the button or shutter just to record these little clips. So, and college football season is getting ready to start here in the States. Go Buck! If you're ever in Ohio and you see a Buckeye fan, go OH. It sounds ridiculous, but I guarantee they will go I. And that concludes our tutorial on video snapshot. Well, that doesn't completely conclude the tutorial. Let me show you what happens here after you record the 4-second clip. There it goes, it's recording. There, now that it recorded, it's going to ask you what you want to do with the clip. You can come over here, hit Save as Album. Now it just created a new album. So, let's do this here. I'm going to set this down. Let me just show you something real quick here. I know the excitement, right? Okay. Now, this is the second one. Now, what you want to do with this second clip, right here. See that Add to Album? Tap that. Now, if you want to create a whole new one, you would tap this and tap it again. Okay? Save a new. This here, playback video, just to check it out real quick and take a look. And this one here is delete it. So I'm going to save it to this, add to this album. There, I added that to the album. And now let's watch it. Now this is the full 8 seconds because it took 2 4 seconds. So
the 4-second clip. There it goes. It's recording. Real quick here.
And that's it. You can do that as many times as you want. You can start it now and finish it later. If you want to go on, do like quick little hits. You see it all the time, and a lot of people use that. Like I think Casey Neistat, I think he uses those all the time. Those little quick, that's basically what it's trying to do. Something like that, where you're just like traveling, and it's like a really quick snapshot of what you're doing. Very simple. Kind of cool. I've never really used it that much, but I might start. Now let's keep it moving here. Next, okay, so for the next dial here, let's go to the CA right here. It's Creative Auto. Basically, it's going to shoot everything in auto, except we're going to add some creativity to it. Exactly what it sounds like. And here's your options here. You can use the self-timer, built-in flash, blur your background or not, and use some different shooting modes, such as vivid, soft, warm, intense, monochrome, all these. So what I'm going to do here, if you want to see our subject, yeah, Halloween's coming up here, right? And so is football. So there you go. What are you going to do? That's what I got. And we're gonna take some samples here and see what we're going to do. I'm going to set all the intensities for the middle here, so you can go one way or the other to make it more or less. We're going to blur the background, and we're going to see what we can do with the Creative Auto. Now for this, just because I've already got it set, I'm using the 24mm, not the kit lens on this. For no reason other than it's on there right now. I don't feel like changing it. So let's experiment here. Let's start with the background blur. Now to initiate it, just like always, you hit the Q or Q. So let's hit the Q. Let's start with the blur at, let's see, right there, all the way to the left. Let's experiment both. All right, let's go up here. And let's see here. Yeah, a little blurry. Okay, now let's go to, at the Q, sharp. Let's see what that looks like. And it worked. The background is sharp there. So that's a win-win right there. Now let's leave the background, let's turn that off. Okay, let's just leave it normal, however it would normally shoot, and let's play with some colors here. Okay, so hit the Q, come up here, it's on intense. Let's start right at the top. Okay, just a normal shot. I'm going to post these, and I'll show these in full frame here in a sec. I'm just going to go through each one. It's going to be a bit tedious, so I'm just going to start rapid posting them with, or rapid showing them with the setting. So soft. cool. Let's go brighter. Let's go. Whoa, whoa, wow, whoa, why was that not where I wanted it? All right, let's go darker. Okay, some of them changed from medium to regular, sorry. That's darker. And monochrome. Now in monochrome here, this is where it gets a little different. You can go to blue. Let's take one of those. Okay. Let's take black and white. And let's take a sepia. And that's it. That's all of them. That's all the different options you have. So hopefully you saw them all. And I like this background blur. That worked out pretty well. Let's take one more of the blur. Let's see. Blurry in monochrome. Very nice. Let's try it with the sharp. Yep, sharp. Works like a charm. Excellent. And again, that is the Creative Auto. Now in movie mode, that does absolutely nothing. There is no difference in that. That does not give us any extra options here. Okay, so this here only applies to photo, the Creative Auto. Alright, let's move on. Alright, hey guys, so I wasn't quite sure how to do these next few dials on there. The portrait mode, hold on a sec guys. I wasn't sure how to do the portrait mode, the landscape mode, and the close-up mode. So what I did is I put together 3 pictures, one in full auto, one in the actual portrait or close-up or whatever, the mode I'm trying to show you, and then one in full manual mode in a RAW format, which I'm going to post-process and basically unlock the full potential of the camera to show you each of them. I figured that's the best way to show if the mode is even worth anything, if it's worth even trying, or if it's completely worthless, it's just there for the heck of it. Because I never use these modes, but I'm just curious if they're worth anything. And check this out, we're at this really cool amphitheater. Hello! Hello! Listen to the acoustics here. Whoa! Pretty cool. This is one of our favorite places. Check that out up there. Cool place. So we're gonna get some shots here and see if these modes are worth anything. These modes couldn't be any more simple. Just turn it here to the little mountain type mode, and the only real options you have here are to adjust the brightness and the drive mode or the self timer or whatever. Now here's auto mode. It's pretty self-explanatory. Here's the landscape mode, and then here is the manual mode that I've tweaked and done stuff. I don't know if it's any better. What are you saying, honey? No, okay, I'll sit over there. So check it out. Tell me what you think. I don't know if it's worth anything. I'm sure the manual mode is going to blow it away either way. Of course. I mean, when you post-process it, it should blow it away. But who knows? Maybe it's okay. We'll see. All right, check it out. Portrait mode here, which is the little head there, and let's see what we got here. Looks like about the same thing. Built-in flash, self-timer, and here you can adjust the brightness some. And for this, I actually changed it back to the kit lens, 18 by 55 millimeter. And again, not a huge difference between the auto mode and the actual dial mode. And I don't think I did much justice with this manual mode. Yeah. Nothing too special there, pretty simple. Alright, so let's keep moving. Okay, so let's take some pictures here of some things close up. Look at this thing. I got this old Nokia Music. Express music from I don't know, 10 years ago. This is a cell phone back in the day. Let's get some pictures of that, see if we can see what kind of focus we can get on this little guy, and I'll get some pictures around here. Let's experiment with the close-up. Let's see what kind of see what we can get here. Okay. ISO's shooting up to 1600 though. It's not going to be very clear. I don't know. Let's see if it's very effective. It doesn't look very effective. That one might not be a winner. Of course, it's kind of overcast, hazy out here. It might not be very good lighting. Alright. Well, there's close-up.
What is it?
Okay, so we're all set here. We've got the settings right. We've got the memory card and we're ready to go. Let's shoot a quick video. I'm just going to throw that down there. And let's get a quick video and show you some features you can do after you shoot a video. Okay, so we just shot our first video right there. Right? Now if you remember, you hit the play here to see it. Watch it back. And you press that.
And now it's recording, as you can see right there.
Now if you want to adjust the sound and video playback, this is the volume. In your speaker, you got a little speaker somewhere over here. Oh, there it is, right there. Right here is your little speaker.
It's kind of just frozen in place. Now let's turn that back on.
Now to turn it back down. Okay, so that's how you change the volume in your video when you're playing it back. Now there are other options. See, I just tapped on the screen there. And see right up here, this is showing you the volume option right there. So you can turn that down. And as you can see, this little wheel, obviously that's referring to this wheel right here. Okay, now here's some other options. See this little trim button? You can actually trim the video in the camera. Okay, so you can trim the end. Now I've tried this, it's pretty tedious, but you can do it. You just got to keep going back and back and back. Okay, so then you want to trim that. You can trim it down. Like I said, you hold it there, it'll trim. There, now it's going back. See, it's going backwards. It's tedious, but you can do it. Okay, then you want to cut in. Now you want to cut the beginning. Now I'm cutting the beginning. So you can do that and then hit OK. Right? And then you can hit this button right here after you've trimmed it to save it. And it's going to ask you if you want to override the file or not. Hit override, hit OK, and there. Now I just trimmed it. As you saw, it's pretty tedious, but you can trim video with the playback. So let's see what other options it gives you here in the playback. Okay, let's see, start playing it and hit info. Okay, when you hit info here, it's just telling you up here your file size and everything while it's playing. Okay, so let's stop it. Let's go back and hit info here. There. Now before you start playing it, if you hit info twice, this gives you the same. It gives you the histogram, gives you the RGB. Let's see, let's come up. And it tells you the autofocusing, the file size, all the info you need. Right there. It tells you you're on the autofocus, and then this here shows you the image stabilization. This is the zone. So again, that's in info once you hit the play. So once you hit play, the file is showing here, it's selected, and info. Very nice feature. And again, this is why it's important to set your time and date first, right? Because look, it's giving you the time and date right there. And you're gonna, you know, years from now, you may want to come back and see that. So another good feature. All right. So I think we've pretty much covered most of the auto features here, as you saw there. Okay, well that'll wrap up part 1. So part 2 will be coming out soon. And if I screwed anything up on there, I apologize. I do make mistakes. I am not a professional. I'm actually working really hard to figure out this tutorial stuff because I like doing tutorials on different things. And I'm learning photography at the same time. So we're kind of learning together. And I am working really hard to get this template for the tutorials down. So I know I've made other ones that are similar to this again. I understand that. This is a work in progress for me too. So, hey, but part 2 is coming out. If you like this one, next one's gonna be out soon. Hopefully really soon. So thanks for watching again. And if you really like this, let me know. Leave a comment, like it, subscribe, whatever you can do to let me know. That would be great. And hopefully I didn't screw anything up too bad. See you guys.